Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
This week, watch culture come alive in the Crafts Museum, where architecture brings all of India together, and surrender to the bedlam at the Phul Mandi, where the journey of a city's bouquet begins. This uninspiring, official-looking sign is not something to lightly dismiss. The world it announces, the world beyond this covered walkway, is one which is vanishing elsewhere and leaving behind it a gap impossible to fill. The main objective of the Crafts Museum is symbolized by the sites that welcome the visitor. The effort here is to collect and thus keep alive the tradition of craft and daily life that makes India so culturally rich. A tradition that is today succumbing to the onslaught of urbanization.
It was important that we should industrialize and modernize, but on the other side, it was also understood that the kind of traditional craft skills that existed in this country, which also provided self-employment to millions of people, these skills should not be let to die down, because whatever industrialization we would have done or whatever modern technological education we had brought, it would not have been possible for us to provide this kind of technical skills to millions of people through whatever technical education we can provide. So I think it was not worthwhile letting these skills die. In order to achieve this, it was thought that first thing we should do is, because skills would not die so fast as the artistic forms would die, and therefore it was thought proper that we should collect a lot of objects from everyday life in traditional India and keep them not particularly as museum but as a kind of resource for providing information, providing inspiration to those craftsmen who were slowly losing touch with their own culture, and to people also.
The grounds of the museum are replete with objects and creations of a craft nature from all over the country. Paintings and visual decorations in many different styles use the sides of huts as their canvas. Terracotta figurines stand resolutely in the shade of trees. Carts and containers look as though they've just been put out of use. One part of the museum has been transformed into a village complex. This space seems to be a microcosm of all of India's rural life, with all its range and diversity of building materials and styles.
many crafts were architecture based crafts, wood carving, mud plastering, wall painting, all these things, wood carving as may apply to furniture, wood carving is applied to pillars and columns and balconies and jharokas and all. So these were all architecture based. So to show the cultural context of use and to show the strength of architecture based craft, we have created another area, that is our village complex, where we have shown traditional housing types and things like that.
Different environments are well represented in this complex. Even the waterside life has been duplicated with the help of an artificial pond, which helps to reflect the life there beside the sea or the river. But the most popular aspect, and possibly the most useful one, is the crafts demonstration program.
We invite every month 50 craftspersons to come and stay with us for 1 month. Then they go, and next month another batch of 50 craftspeople come here. They do several things here when they come here. They have a look at their traditional works and derive inspiration, as I told you. But more than that, you see, in their own villages, they do not have anymore the kind of market that they used to have formerly. The craftsmen who come to Crafts Museum to demonstrate their skills, they get in touch with the urban life, and therefore the new patrons and their way of life and what they like, they come to know about this. So they are able to also learn about that. Third thing they contribute to our museum is that we have a major educational program. And the younger generation, which has not been the city-based younger generation, which does not have occasion to go to villages and all, they will perhaps not care, for craft and traditions. But we get a large number of students who come to us every day, about 300, 400 students who come to Crafts Museum, small children from different schools and things. They see these people making things and they wonder, suppose there is a piece of textile, they realize that each thread of warp and each thread of weft has to be manually placed into the loom before it becomes a fabric. And if you want a design, you have to do much more for that. They will care for their costume, they will care for the clothing and all. They will understand how much goes into doing things like that. And they will learn to respect all this.
Here, the craftsman, beleaguered by the pressures of modernization, finds an oasis of encouragement and perhaps a source of rejuvenation. Every month, different artisans from all parts of India congregate here to display their skills and their wares to a market which can no longer come to them. It is unarguable that the boost that these craftsmen receive from the program will go a long way in keeping the crafts traditions alive. Not only do the craftsmen find that their skills are still revered, the urban inhabitant can also rediscover a style of life on the brink of being part of the past. Many of the artisans who work here are the best in their fields. Their work is proof of that. Even where a craft does not result in the creation of an object, there is enough cause to preserve this aspect of India.
We have many craftsmen coming here, and sometimes, because they are losing touch with their tradition, they make objects that have deteriorated craftsmanship or clumsy in certain manners or things. Then we do not pass a judgment on their quality, but we only take out some of the things from the past made in that area by their own forefathers, and we say that which object do you think is better, and they suddenly improve their quality.
मी गेलो कुठे देव गजानपती जवळ देव गजान गणपतीकडे मला त्या विधा दिलेल्या आहेत, परंतु माझ्या जीवेला त्यांनी रशवंती दिली नाही. गिरजा देवी परिसरात गेनु चरावया वनामध्ये जाई, चांप धरून रे लक्ष्मण
Some of those who utilize this facility of the museum are the only living practitioners of their art. Jeet Singh, for example, may be the only person who still practices the art of Patiala lacquerware, carving out a niche for this craft in the humdrum of daily life. Objects as beautiful and functional as these may soon be just a part of history, unless the Crafts Museum can turn the tide. When spring passes through Delhi, the city brightens up. Flowers appear like colorful rashes in gardens, in parks, on roundabouts, and anywhere else that they find a place to grow. Flower power, in fact, is considerably well established in Delhi. Among the major destinations of these adornments of nature are places of worship, and there's no dearth of those in the city. All year round, outside temples and mosques, the poolwales sit, making garlands, chaddars, bouquets. This is a business in bloom. The trail leads eventually to a street beyond Chandni Chowk, where a haze of dry spices hangs in the air and hell breaks loose every morning. The sun is yet to come up over the Shah Jahanabad tenements, but activity levels on this road are already at a peak. From trucks and tempos, bundle upon bundle is unloaded from decks already strewn with flowers. From their jute prisons, blooms fall to the street, and there are even scavengers for these. Coolies scurry this way and that with sackfuls of flowers on their heads, entering and exiting a narrow straightway that leads up to the pool mandi. This is strictly a one-way stair, and it's miraculous how some semblance of coordination is achieved. Up the stairs, however, and all pretense at coordination vanishes. Chaos reigns here, and it is impossible to believe that buying and selling here can be achieved with any kind of security. And yet, the trade does take place. The flowers come in from gardens and farms in and around Delhi and are trucked to mandis such as this one. These are basically brokerages which act as transit stations. Here the poolwalas from all over the city buy their day's quota, roses by the kilo and so on. The deals are carried out in stentorian tones, and at the center of this vortex of voices is this irritable old man with the account sheet, through whom all the money passes. It's a small wonder that he looks permanently harassed. It's difficult to keep one's wits as well as one's cool under circumstances like these. Sold flowers are carted out again in the bundles, possibly by the same person who brought them up. Out in the street again, they are packed off, in much smaller volumes, in whatever mode of conveyance is convenient. Eventually, these flowers will end up at those flower shops where our trail began, to be bought by worshippers, to be placed before their gods. And still the flowers look fresh, with no outward sign of the arduous and harrowing journey that they have had to undertake to end up impaled in these garlands for the gods.